Hey folks, it's Dr. Brenda, founder of the Gutsy Women Club, where women dare to dream and take bold actions to follow their heart's journey. Hey, please subscribe below. I'd love to have you follow me along on this journey. And oh my goodness, I'm coming at you from the Grand Canyon, and I took a second day in a row, a really strenuous hike down the canyon and then up the canyon. Oh, here's Dolly. And so yeah, I'm looking a little fright, so you'll be glad that I kept the hat on. Trust me. And I want to talk to you today about kids. Okay, I'm a single mom. I'm at the Grand Canyon because I love the Grand Canyon, but I'm also here to see my adult child. My son is 23 years old, and I think May 1st is his 3rd year anniversary here at the Grand Canyon. He works for one of the concessionaires and does food services. So I'm going to tell you what, I am able to live this lifestyle because I managed to help get my child to be independent. And so, you know, the expectation is that your kid is going to go off to college and get a good job and do all that great stuff, but not every child is college material or wants that out of his or her life. And that's the dilemma that I faced. I was living in Williamsburg, Virginia, and it was just me and my child. And he was working a food service, fast food service job, earning less than working less than 20 hours a week, earning minimum wage, no benefits, and in my house all of the time. It was not a good situation for either of us. I wanted him to get moving on with his life, try to find some kind of trajectory that would allow him to be independent. If you work minimum wage jobs in this country, you cannot afford housing. It's really that basic. And when you don't have a college education, that's really all that might be available to you. So I'm also going to admit to you that, our relationship had gotten pretty antagonistic, and I was sometimes afraid of him. It was not a good situation for me. It was not a good situation for him. And so I encouraged him to try to locate jobs, find jobs. We went online. Some of this we did together, and I talked to him about what is appealing to you. And there was one position to work on a riverboat that appealed to him. And he didn't qualify for that position, but we began to think about, maybe a cruise ship job. So, because it provides room and board, and you get paid, so you don't have all those expenses of trying to, support yourself through housing and having to pay all that extra money. So we had it. One night I just got so fed up with him in my house, and I woke up in the middle of the night. I got up, went downstairs, turned on my laptop. It's 2:00 in the morning, and I had asked him to research cruise ship jobs. Oh no, I have to be 21, and no, I have to do this, and it was just a bunch of excuses. And I thought, I'm going to research this myself. And I had found that Norwegian Cruise Lines was having an upcoming job fair in Charlotte, North Carolina. And so 2, 3 in the morning, I'm like, yep, I registered for him. I'm like, okay, he's going to get there. I am going to drive him in the middle of the night. There's a bus leaving Richmond, Virginia, down to Charlotte, North Carolina, leaves at about midnight, and he's going to do the job interview, and he's going to come back, and I will come pick him up. And so that's what we did. And quite to my surprise, the cruise line offered him a job. And he was very, very excited, but he couldn't pass the physical. So, what this made me realize is that the only way for him to move forward is to get a position that also has some type of housing allowance. It's got the benefits, but it also allows you to, to live, to actually save some money, to grow and figure out what you want to do next. And so I discovered a website. It's called coolworks.com. COOL, like cool, and works, WORKS.com. And there's a lot of seasonal work there, but the thing about it is that a lot of the jobs have a housing allowance. So it's, you don't, maybe you're not making a whole lot of money, but it includes room and board. So I tossed that his way, and I said, look, does any of this interest you? He's like, this would be good. So it was a Wednesday, and he had told me, okay, well, I applied for a couple of jobs. I'm like, oh, okay, great. Well, where? And he was kind of, well, man, I don't know, here, there. So that was a Wednesday. And Friday night, he got a phone call from the concessionaire who handles services here at the Grand Canyon. And unbeknownst to me, he had applied for a housekeeping job. Now, this kid is as messy as any messy kid that you can imagine. Never helped with cleaning. So I thought, housekeeping, are you like housekeeping? Really? Seriously? Housekeeping? But they basically they said, are you interested? They offered him the job. He had to go through a couple of extra steps. But it's like, whoa, he's got this job at the Grand Canyon. Now, I would lie if I said I wasn't nervous about it all. So his start date, at the end of April, I think it was April 30th, and he had to be there May 1st or May 2nd. So I handled all the logistics. I did pay for the airfare. I got him all set up with a shuttle that went up to Flagstaff. He would have to spend a night there. Got a hotel room for him. Directed him to the shuttle the next morning. But he did this all on his own. And I drove him to that airport with his suitcases, and I didn't sleep until I knew he was at the Grand Canyon. So it was difficult for me, even though I had set this all up. At that point, if he would have stayed here for 6 months, that would have been a success. I would have been like so proud of him for just making it for 6 months. So what he did is he worked the housekeeping, learned that he hated it, of course, and then talked to the managers and got switched to food services. So he has, it's been difficult. It's been a lot of work for him. There's a lot of turnover here. It is the tourist industry, so things fluctuate quite a bit. But he is coming up on his 3rd year anniversary. And that has been such a relief for me that he is living independently. Now it's dorm style living here. And but through the pandemic, he was out of work for a year. So last March they shut down. He collected unemployment. Now the housing, he was paying $33 a week. That's it. $33 a week for housing. That's it. So he was, making decent money, paying very little for housing. During the pandemic, he collected unemployment that entire time. They waived the housing fees, and he also gets a 50% discount at the food, for food. So, the company treated them very well, and I didn't have to worry about him suddenly, wanting to come home because, hey, I'm in an RV now. There is no home. But knowing that he is independent, has been able to save up quite a bit of money, has given me the freedom also to know that I can part with my house. He's going to be okay. I will help him manage if he needs help managing. But I'm able to buy my freedom, and he is so much better off. learning how to make friends, feeling like he's part of something. And so it's been really, really a good experience. But if you are like me and you've got a kid at home or a couple of kids at home and they're not going off to college, or maybe they did graduate and now they're hanging around your house, at some point you may end up at 2 o'clock in the morning with that laptop trying to figure out, how do I get this kid out of my house? How do I help him or her be independent? How do I reclaim my life too? So, yeah, check out coolworks.com and check out options that include some level of housing, especially for lower wage workers, where they're if he had to pay for housing, it would eat up his entire paycheck. So this has been a really, really good situation for all of us. Highly recommend it. Ask me any questions. I'll be glad to see if I can answer them. And yeah, please subscribe below. And sometimes, you got to do that tough love thing. Sometimes that's the best thing for both you and your kid. All right, you guys take care. Bye-bye.